yellow hugs it.
And what is all this?
With the, that's what's called South Cleveland. It's outside the city limits. That's the statistical area that's given to that area. It's just a unincorporated area that was included.
Right in here,
Right, that's correct. Yes, so Dalton Pike is here. Right, no, there's no changes at all.
So you're saying this is where the growth plan is today?
Yes,
The blue.
The blue, and then they're anticipating pushing out. Okay.
so this boundary here is followed the exact same
As the
boundary
original.
as what we have adopted today,
Same way up here.
all the way here. The only place it does deviate is right here.
Okay, explain that again, because when I come down here, the urban growth proposal, that's the new proposal. This is the new proposal.
But it's also the existing. We didn't change it.
When you say you didn't change it from the original that you presented?
No, from 2009, what's
If it's
adopted.
shaded white, it's new.
Blue, okay. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, everything that is shaded baby blue is current.
Robert, in that shaded blue, I guess I'd be right there on Harrison Pike. Why do those white islands exist if that's urban growth boundary?
Those were, in the previous iteration of this process, those were considered rural. And
So what
so
is this?
our old data didn't include them,
I know,
but
So
that's
they're-
not the case now.
This is the road.
It's just
Yeah.
a road,
Okay,
it's
it's
yellow.
not-
That makes sense.
It is not.
So should those areas be included in the urban growth boundary, or are they excluded because they're considered rural?
They did not request the rural designation.
So if this map is approved, then those would become shaded in blue as well.
They went
Exactly.
out
Like
toward
your
Walker Valley
Christmas
High
present.
School, down Lauderdale.
So what's here that we're trying to
Yeah.
incorporate?
That's the
So-
proposed.
Wide area, all this wide area would be removed.
So what's
They
here
didn't make
now?
a I'm fine with theirs. I mean, it's fine. No, it's not that they didn't want to compromise.
Out here, Robert, this wide area.
So this is Johnston Woods. Some of this is just kind of right off of Barnell Road. Black Fox School's right there. That's Black Fox Road right there, and Old Chattanooga Pike goes off.
Yeah, they submitted that
So
to us.
if I'm looking at it, what my proposal would
100%,
be
yeah.
is to back this side
We
up to
would,
the
we would
original,
not do something without their
keep all
vote.
this, because I'm assuming this is
can't.
exit plenty.
It's-
Yeah, so because that's gonna be mostly, you'll have neighborhoods that go up, but that's a lot of industrial that's gonna go in there. I just know what's going on over here, and I would
Well,
just
like
recommend
for
that we
instance,
pull
like
in.
this piece right here, I know, like, so are you saying, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I would push all that in.
But that would be.
There are
that would be
existing,
deleting the current growth boundary. Baby blue is current.
No, you're pulling all the way out though, Mayor. You're pulling all the way out through here with the new boundaries.
Just a little bit right here. Bentley, what is your, as the planner, do you have any issues with any of this other than the changes up there?
My biggest issues are up here where
Yeah.
they've changed it.
Yeah, that Eureka Road and, yep. What is the purple? The purple is the original
Purple is,
request.
I felt like it was important for people to see illustrated.
And that's what's not on this.
when,
That's
Ga-
the original
when Gary and I
request.
met, we decided the compromise is the red is where we pulled back from the purple. Purple is what everybody saw at our last meeting,
Right,
and
got
red
it.
is where we pulled back.
So
to
you're
say-
pulling that into
Correct.
here. Well, you're pulling back into here,
That's correct.
so is this Georgetown? Where's Georgetown?
this is Eureka,
Yeah.
That's
here's
frontage.
That's frontage, okay, I got you.
Hooper Gap.
Yeah, I don't know why we're going all the way up to the river. They're not.
We're not any longer red is here.
Well, what's here?
That's where the treatment plant is.
That's where the treatment plant is.
Okay.
We have requests from property owners to be included at those.
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
But I thought they wanted their property behind Walker
They wanted
Valley,
that
man.
too, but that was hard to achieve.
We just
under
Couldn't make
the
the map-
circumstances.
Couldn't make the map work to do it,
Okay.
so.
Trying to present something that can find consensus from all bodies, I think it's vastly important we do it locally.
So this is in the current boundary?
That's correct.
The shaded?
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
Right. So what is this piece right here that we're pulling back?
It's the
It's
same.
the same, so
Yep.
all this is the same. So this is the same. I guess my question is, why are we pulling this in? Why wouldn't we just leave that? Because here's South Lynn Highway going up.
Well, it's a growth boundary and it hasn't expanded in 15 years, and this is the expansion that's being proposed.
We
Because
believe that-
we know there's growth coming.
We believe there's significant growth to the south that we want to be ready for.
Y'all have already got some pretty big subdivisions over there now.
Well, we've got a few more coming,
Mm-hmm.
that dictates a lot of decisions that are made.
I am not in favor of expanding all around this, because I do know what's out here. You've already got this, and if you haven't expanded in 15 years, then why are we extending it now? But I do believe this needs to be there. Well, I mean, I don't think it needs to be expanded. I think you've got expansion to the north. I think
Everyone on my Facebook page begs us to expand the south.
well,
Go read the comments on Whataburger being built on Stewart Road. It's 100%. Come to the south.
We can talk to Cindy and pull
Can I
back.
say Whataburger? Is that
Yeah.
legal?
I think it needs to be pulled back.
Mayor, I think we can work through Cindy and probably pull back that area a little bit. I don't think that that's.
The gold on the bottom?
Yeah,
And we'll probably include Craig in that.
What is that, Blue Spring Road?
yeah.
Yeah, this is Old Chattanooga Pike.
Yeah. But all of this is exit 20, correct?
Well, yeah, exit 20, yes.
Exit 20 is coming off 80, but where does this go?
That's northwest of exit 20.
Yeah,
So like the car dealerships are right here.
right here.
Nope.
Where
Yeah.
is, where,
It's right here.
Nope, it's right.
This is it.
land, well, I was thinking, could you, like, go that way.
Want the landfill?
Go back, just a little more right there.
Yeah, we'll give them the land.
So I think, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I do think working with Cindy and Craig, that we can probably pull back this area that Dr. Cash is looking at.
I know that there's some property owners here who
Dr. Cash, if you see the light blue and we follow the light blue.
were close, or very
exactly
close
where
to it.
is.
Let us talk to them.
Okay.
So, but we can pull back.
I mean, if they know of, let's just say, this property owner right here has interest, it might be, go ahead and do it. So, you know stuff that we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I actually forgot everything I know about that south area, so when y'all.
Okay.
I think
When-
Dr. Cash raises a good question, why is that in there?
That's
And we
one
need
that
to
was
figure that question out.
wrongly. And then you got, I guess.
This piece, I know, probably could stay because they
No, that-
expressed some interest. So that's Johnston Woods. It's not gonna develop. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and if you,
but they've expressed interest in annexation.
Johnson Wood, that makes sense.
Yeah. So why wouldn't we put it in now instead of having to fix something? That's,
So Johnson Woods, however, if knowing, the church, it would not be developed. Do they have plans for it to be developed further? No. Are we?
Okay, any other questions at this time?
I'm still unsure, so all of this is coming up here is, where Wright Brothers and, where's, I'm looking for 75,
75 runs right down.
right here.
Yes, right, kind
And
of.
what's this?
I know our wastewater plant's right down in
Yeah.
here, right off this.
Yeah, right here.
Right in this area. Gives you some orientation.
And then we have this blue spot here would be the truck stop that's vacant land up there.
The old Honda Rosa was taken in.
And what is this
That's
right?
That's all right.
That's coming back, right?
Yes.
That was my question.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the treatment plant right there.
Okay.
That's All Right Brothers. That's All Right Brothers. This is All Right Brothers.
And you
That's Right
see-
Brothers.
Then it doesn't go to the river on
Yes.
this one like it does on that.
Yeah.
This is Right Brothers. It's outside. That's Right Brothers. That's Right Brothers.
Yeah, there's 4 tracks there. Is it 5 or 4?
Well, they're contiguous. This one, this one, this one, this one, that one's Simpson's, and that one's Simpson's. So Commissioner Slater and Dr. Cash, when Mayor Davis and I met, all the compromise requests were to the north.
Right.
So we came down here, we came in here, we came in here dramatically. There were no requests to compromise at the bottom, the south side. But after the discussion tonight, we're happy to do that.
Yeah. So are you taking in Eureka Road?
Not anymore.
Well, and this is just,
Well, yeah,
Well,
part of it.
This part,
Yeah.
we're moving in from here.
And the rationale for that is that that's Hooper Gap, is that at some point there's a Bell Apple, there's a, obviously,
state, Texas.
interstate exit there, so just in case.
So you would take in Hooper Gap?
The growth boundary does.
The growth boundary does, it's not this, I mean,
Hooper Gap's right here.
Okay.
This goes
See,
under
I
the-
was thinking if y'all took Hooper Gap, you could fix those roads so that my buses could run.
well, there's,
No, I'm teasing.
part of that comes into play with the MPO.
Have you asked the county commission?
No, I'm just talking now.
Okay.
We'll make sure they hear you.
No, no. This is my real rub.
We can fix that.
Thank you.
And Chairman, can we entertain a motion to move
Well,
forward?
let's all get back on
Can
the
I
mic.
ask
maybe.
one more question
We
for
accept those
clarification?
changes?
What is in here?
Um,
Subdivision, right?
yeah, and
That's, bridge, it's not bridge.
all people.
LLL.
So, one thing,
I got it.
Yeah.
I thought this is.
that's in the city.
No, you're right here.
That's in the
We're
city
in
there,
trouble for that.
No, you're
Yeah.
right here.
This is in the city.
I'm here. This is,
in the city, Mountain Brook, Mountain
that's,
Point.
No, I'm going to see 6 in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So, but Mylan's
Hopewell, yeah, Georgetown, yeah.
Hey, Mayor Lattimore, there was a question.
That's correct. It's, it
That's what
basically
I
all is
related.
existing right now. Yeah,
That's correct. Shaded green, correct.
that's your, Metzger piece, right? Yeah, come on in. Your proposal is as is, sir. Okay. Yeah. We were, yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes. That's in the city, right? No, this piece of property here was annexed. In the city, yeah, it was part of the process.
I know. I don't know.
So if I could add, the other piece to this is that with the approval of the compromised map, there will be a interlocal agreement between the city and the county and between Charleston and the county. And basically, the interlocal agreement will state that Cleveland hereby agrees that during the term of this agreement, Cleveland shall not take any action to annex any property by referendum pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated 658-111 outside its urban growth plan. Cleveland and the county agree that Cleveland may seek to annex property by any available means pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated 651-104 within its urban growth boundary. I just want to remind you that Cleveland, the city of Cleveland, cannot go and annex property. It's the property owners who have to come and ask to be annexed. And the same would be expected in this interlocal agreement. There would be interlocal agreement with Charleston also, that Charleston would not seek to annex any property by referendum pursuant to the annotated code outside its urban growth boundary.
Mr. Could I ask a couple questions? I mean, let's boil this down to what we need 8 votes. This is what this is about, 8 votes on the county commission. Okay, so I'm going to ask questions that are obviously biased towards the county, but where is the city on existing annexation in terms of building out their infrastructure?
I think at this point, there are 2 annexations that don't have full service. Out of all the annexations we've done over the past 5-8 years, I think there are 2 that still have outstanding, and that one item is sewer at 2 locations.
That is correct. We're not, we owe sewer to some.
Where are those locations?
Dry Valley Road,
Both are on Dry Valley?
yes.
And
so it's sewer?
They were just recently annexed.
They are
yeah,
about a year
let's-
old,
yeah.
and so they're working through that process right now.
So we will hear from time to time that there are areas of the county that have been annexed into the city that have still not received full city services, and it's been longer than is it 7 or 8 years?
8 years is the.
That's inaccurate if we've heard that and been told that?
I've not heard it. Maybe you have, but I've never heard that once. But
Well, but I'm asking, is it if we have
It
heard,
is
we
accurate.
have heard that, so
Okay.
it's inaccurate if that's the case.
yes,
Okay. What about, I know one of the issues that has been discussed at the county level, we would really like to discuss that when these annexations take place, that we're also talking about taking in the roads. Is that something that can be agreed on as well,
well, and I think if
when
you
it makes sense?
Yeah, and if you look at some of the most recent annexations, for instance, we had one on Freewell Road. We extended the city limits along Freewell Road all the way out to that location, even, and then actually took in 2 other roads that kind of connected a separate piece. I think we've shown that that's the direction we're headed. If it's outside the city and there's no city further, we're not going to annex further on. But if it serves the annexation, then it goes to the edge of that property. Yes.
What's the status of the request from the county to take in Menace Road with that annexation that took place out there?
I'm not 100% familiar with that ongoing conversation, so I would have to lean on someone else to answer
Okay.
that. But
Mr. Fivas, do you have that answer?
I have not been involved. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Thank you for the question. Want to go back a couple questions. And I think it's CU, Cleveland Utilities, that takes that. I'm not aware at the current time of any properties that have gone beyond their 8 years.
To my knowledge, that is is not that we know of. I'm not saying 100%, but not that I know of that we've exceeded that.
And if that were the case, we would move very quickly to remedy that situation. So, there's a lot of things out there, but we're not aware of that. On roads, I think we have amended our practices on the roads, and we've become much more vigilant on taking the county roads when it makes sense. What we've tried not to do is to just take a section of a county road, so you go from county to city to county, because that creates problems in the future of, well, who's gonna pay what? I think we have one of those situations on Old Chattanooga Pike. But as far as when we do annexations, I think one that we didn't, that wasn't even really, it's quite old, is 22nd Street. That was one that we probably missed. But I think that we've been pretty consistent. I mean, we've listened and we've had conversations with county commissioners and city council members, is that we want to do what's in the best interest of those taxpayers that use those infrastructures. And I think that's what we use to gauge and to make decisions based on practices. Minnis Road, we certainly, our engineers have actually done some coring. We're looking at that. We are not opposed to that. What we are questioning is how far, because the request was how far on Minnis Road should we go down, because we try to avoid those situations of Minnis is the county, and then you get a 400-foot section in front of the park and the school that's a city road, and then it goes back to county. We're working through that, but our answer definitely isn't no, and particularly on, and we have not, there's an annexation there by the fire station, is that we will give an answer to the county when we process that annexation, which we have not done to this point. So that's what we are waiting for, is waiting to get our ducks in the row and do that stuff. But the answer isn't no. We haven't found any reason to say that we won't do it, but we just haven't got to that part in the process. But it's still on my desk, and it's not being ignored. We just haven't got it.
Do you know a time frame of when you might be able to give an answer?
We will have the building delivered and our contractor on site in probably May. And so I would say probably before May is our timeline. Are there any more questions, Bob?
Thank you. Okay. We had original proposed map. We have in front of us today amended proposal. Many of us just met and looked at the map and gave recommendations and got advice. And what I heard is that the current amended map is going to be potentially amended again.
Well, and I'm curious if maybe some of those items can be hashed out by this group, because we do have a deadline looming. I just want to be very clear. I know there's some discussions that need to take place, but we have advertised for public hearings March 6th and the 13th, I believe. And so we have room to do another meeting if further discussion needs to take place. But if it can happen under this board and everybody's comfortable with it, then but I just want to make that kind of point. I don't want to push us to where we're right at the edge here in a deadline. It'd be nice, like I said from the beginning, if all legislative bodies got this and we made this agreement ourselves locally. I think that's important for us to move forward together. So
Okay.
I maybe some of the talking points that were discussed over here could be reiterated for the microphones, and if that discussion needs to continue, outside of here, then I can certainly schedule another meeting, but it would be next week.
Well, quite a few of us were at the table, and we gave comments about some modifications. If those modifications were done, I did, Joe?
Yeah, I think, I just wanna, I think we indicated that, Ms. Slater, Dr. Cash, Craig, would work on, with someone from the city on an amendment to that, is that we can come and present that amendment before you have your public hearing. So I don't know if there was a reason to have another meeting, but we would present that new map just on that small area that we have. So I'm saying is, I don't know if it's necessary to get everyone together to look at that one little piece. Is, we can have a little subcommittee and work on it and bring a recommendation at the next meeting and then open the public hearing and go from there.
Would that be satisfactory with everyone?
Is there another meeting of this body before the before the first public hearing?
No.
So, Mr. Chairman, just procedurally, are you looking for a possible motion to accept the amended map with changes?
Go into those public hearings with an idea that is supported by the committee.
You're seeking that we have consensus before we have the public hearing.
Consensus is the word.
Okay. Well, good luck.
But does that work? Is let there be a subcommittee, bring back that proposal? What is the meeting of the next meeting?
The 13th.
The 6th, March 6th.
March 6th, then the 13th.
Yeah, come back March 6th. We'll talk about that. Let everyone look at that small area that we're talking about, and then open the public hearing meeting and go from there.
Mr. Fivas, if I may, Mayor Davis and I and Mayor Lattimore is always welcome to join us, but we had a rather productive meeting which generated the map that we have before us. And I'm happy to do that again with the blessings of this body. And instead of creating yet another subcommittee, the three mayors could meet and crank out the proposals, if that's okay with you.
Fine with me.
Just for the chair, on the 6th, I will not be present, because I will be, in New Orleans. And, but I would love to be a part of any decisions that are making so that I feel comfortable about what's moving forward.
And keep in mind, any vote would happen after the 13th, and
Right.
my idea was we would have the public hearing the 13th, and then this body would actually meet and discuss that vote. So if you wanted to have a proxy for that meeting for the 6th, you could do that as well.
I would have to, make sure I would have to have a phone by me listening to.
I understand, I understand.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
that's my question. I don't know that a subcommittee, somehow we've got to take what was discussed at that table and turned into a new map
And I think that's
until
achievable based
before
on
the
what we've
public
heard.
hearings. That can be done?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's achievable based on what we've heard, and the city of Cleveland is being asked to make the changes. So if the city of Cleveland is in agreement to what those change requests were, then I don't see we'll have any issue.
So fast forward then, we start the first public hearing with this new version 3,
Which is gonna be,
okay, which
yeah.
represents the compromise the mayors agreed on,
Yeah.
and then the input from this committee,
That's correct.
okay? We have a public hearing 1, a public hearing 2,
And-
and then the idea is to vote at the end of public hearing 2 on what we want to send to the legislative bodies to approve, yes?
Yes, exactly. And
How does that work logistically? Because I would assume one of the big reasons we have a public hearing is to get input and potentially make changes based on that input from the public. Is somebody going to have their colored pencils at the end of that meeting to give us a fourth map to then vote on?
If that ends up being if there are substantive changes, I think that this body would discuss whether or not they'd want to adhere to those or not. And if they did, then we would mark it, and that would, the final version would resemble those changes that came out of that meeting. And keep in mind, whatever happens with this third iteration, this body would be my intention that this body would have that map in advance of the 6th, so that everybody can look at it and say, yeah, this is what we discussed. Or if there was something that was missed, you missed this. And that way, everybody's marching forward at the same pace.
Is this map available on the website right now, electronically?
The website, no, but
Okay.
but it could certainly will be. You know, it's
Maybe the one that you're about to make changes
I think
and create.
let's make the next set of changes, and then we'll get it up there.
Because we get asked that a lot.
Oh,
Where
no, I get it.
the public can't see what we're looking at.
So.
So you think it is practical, though, to go ahead and vote the night we have a public hearing and may want to make changes?
Yeah, and
that
we'll
it's still
certainly
practical to
be
make a vote?
prepared. I mean, I think given the time frame we've placed on ourselves, we don't have a whole lot of room for any other
Okay.
choices.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
My request when the mayors meet is to also have Commissioner Slater there. She seems to understand, specifically what I was looking at on the south end, so that would be my request if she is willing to be there.
Okay. Would you like to be there?
It would really depend on when they're meeting. Yes, would I like to be there? Yes, but I feel very comfortable with her representation as well. So
Okay.
if I'm available, I would. I've got, and we can work that out, I'm sure.
Would anyone else that was at the table that was presenting comments like to give those comments in that meeting or at that meeting, other than Ms. Slater and?
Yeah. And I really am comfortable with with
Okay.
Commissioner Slater being there. I don't feel, I don't mind being there, but if I couldn't, I'm very comfortable with her being there.
Okay, could we set that up sooner than later?
Yeah, that will, yes.
An alternate proposal. We take a 10-minute recess, Mr. Chairman, and we draw the map right now.
I have to leave at 5:50.
We take a 2-minute recess and literally draw new lines on this map in front of
I second that, if that's a
this
motion.
body.
We're here. Everybody in the room is here.
Robert, you got your colored pencils?
I got a pen, I may work.
Mr. Chairman, that is a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
I've got a second. Is there any discussion? I have a question. Do the planners feel comfortable stepping over there and doing that? Okay, they feel comfortable. All in favor of modifying the map now? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let's go to the map.
Go,
Or we're recessed.
I'll go along with whatever Dr. Cash. I'm not happy at all. I'll go along with what. I'm calm. I should get a damn blue ribbon. We've got is the north side, the whole general. But it has to. Nothing is done. Have it at least planned. whatever we come up with at 8. Close. In a county. Oh, it'll be, something. It's really multiple. I didn't have a vote on it. Like you, eloquent. Put it oh, you go sewer look back to the first presentation. Sewer perspective. It's all right, but from the perspective of a growth, yes. Oh, I don't have to worry about where I stay. I'm very possible. I'll go to court. Stuff that had your referendum. Charleston. Still legal. I went back. That was Dan. Best. It's published. Indiana. Yeah. County. No, I really like. I've lived phase where I bought. It's who you are and back.
Tell them, come back up here, they're 2 minutes.
Are y'all about finished?
I'm gonna be able to take a vote.
I got big shoulders. I know, I know. It's at the plaza. Yeah.
All right, can we, yes. Can we reconvene? So, the members that, wanted to meet at the table to adjust the boundary, I guess have done that. I'd like to see if there's consensus with that. Could we take just a consensus on the amended third iteration? Just call it a consensus and we'll just go on a vote just to make sure that we're comfortable with it. So let me start down, Adam Lewis. Are you, well,
You just want a motion to accept the amended map?
yes.
I'll make that motion.
Any other discussion? If not, let's just take a vote on that. So we'll start with Adam.
Yes.
Linda Cash,
Yes.
David Lattimore,
Yes.
Ken Webb, Craig Mullinax, yes. Tom Cry,
No.
Jonathan Job,
Yes.
Kevin Brooks, Cindy Slater,
Yes.
Tim Lawson,
Yes.
Brian Workman,
Yes.
and David Rollins is not here. Okay, very good. So we have a consensus map to present at our
March 6th.
March 6th public hearing. And I guess that would be our second item on there, the dates of those meetings. And we have one conflict, but will that work with everyone else? I know Robert's worked hard to line these up. Okay, good. It work with everybody else? Make this happen? Okay. Very good. All right. Well, is there any other discussion about anything else that's taking place? Anybody have any comments, questions? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Yes. Yes. Yes, are there any public comments? There seems to be no public comments. Do I have a motion to adjourn? March 6th. And it will be here, is that correct, Robert? The first meeting will be on the 6th. Do we have a location for the meeting? Okay, it'll be at this location.
everybody's good with the March 6th and 13th dates. I know we have one that can't be here for the 13th. I can if I need, I was planning to reschedule, or not reschedule, to schedule a third one just in case, but it sounds like my attendance is pretty good. I may go ahead and do that just to cover us, just in case, but it sounds like everybody knows those dates and is comfortable. Yeah, okay, and so the next one's March 6th, that's correct.
And that will be here. And you will have that advertised and out?
It's already
and-
advertised,
Okay.
yeah. Yes.
He's got 4 PM.
Yeah, 4 PM on March 6th and 6 PM on March 13th. It
Okay.
offers different times for,
All right. If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn? I've got a motion. Second? Non-debatable, we're adjourned.